Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the DeFi Soapbox. It is your boy Ludo yet again. I am joined with one of my first repeat guests. I am very, very excited for this particular guest, Mr. Remington. My friend here is wearing his black hat. He's a black hat individual. He keeps his ears to the ground. Make sure he's involved in a lot of projects. I know he has lots to talk about today. Make sure you leave your questions over in the AMA questions. In the meantime, Mr. Remington, what are you here to talk to us about today? I think I had put out an announcement that's referring to diamonds. You are here representing Diamondback.io. I think you and I have had a chance to speak about it just a smidge, but I want to hear kind of your overview of what's going on over at Diamondback.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me up again, Ludo. I really appreciate it. I see some familiar faces in the audience. Jake, Austin Clark, great guys over at Cardinal House. I've done some AMAs over there. But Diamondback is a unique type of project coming out, something that we haven't seen in the space before. I kind of want to give people in decentralized finance my connections and individuals I know help me out throughout the way, kind of a chance to participate and kind of get their feedback on what Diamondback's building and kind of what's going on over there and how I got connected with them and kind of how it played into the whole ecosystem of everything and kind of worldwide non-financial, non-traditional financial markets and traditional financial markets with institutional firms and
Well,
centralized finance.
just before we started talking, we jumped on this AMA. We were talking about Binance and its effect. And
Mm-hmm.
you posed a question to us in our audience before the AMA: Is Binance insolvent? Yes or no? So my question to you is, I'll turn one back at you: Is
Yeah.
jewelry coming to DeFi? Yes or no? Is jewelry coming to crypto?
I think jewel is. I mean, I wouldn't quantify it with that terminology. I would use the term investment grade diamonds,
Okay.
right? Are coming to crypto, and it's been something that's been in the pipeline for some time now. With Diamondback, they've been around in building since about the middle of 2018, 2019, right? That's a long time. That's 4 to 5 years,
And
and kind of
have they always been trying to do crypto with that, or has that just
yeah,
been okay?
it's been the same project, the same vision, the same mission for that long. But when it comes to a project of this magnitude, there's a lot of legalities, jurisdictions, a lot of compliance you have to go through. When you do things the right way, they take a lot of capital and they take a lot of time, right? It's
Sure.
not just like throwing together a DeFi project and you launch it a week later, right? There's a lot of moving parts that go into it. And the essence of Diamondback is what they realize, their team, William, the CEO, and Ingrid, the COO, who have a ton of experience in entrepreneurial services and payment platforms and crypto and outside of crypto. What we've seen throughout time, especially this year, is this a huge penetration market into stablecoins, right? Example, if I list off the top three stablecoins, USDT. I mean, do we really feel comfortable holding USDT? Do we know about the reserves?
I don't right
They're not
now.
audited,
It's not
right?
happening for me. Anytime someone says I take payment in USDT, this, that, or the other, I'm just like, no, no thanks, not about it.
And then you got USDC, right? Which is you feel a little bit more comfortable. They're audited, they're collateralized, but not even one v one, and but they're really centralized. I mean, they're co-founded by Circle and Coinbase. They can freeze on-chain funds, right? Do you feel comfortable about that? We're in crypto for the
U.S. government is
decentralization.
getting involved with USDC. Yeah,
Exactly, right? And then you go to BUSD, right? They have a ton of the compliance. They're audited all the time, 24/7, right? And they have the reserves. But what happens if Binance goes under, which we've seen today, right? What happens to BUSD, right? Does it lose peg? Does it just lose value? So that we've realized that in the stablecoin market, there's a lot of room for innovation and kind of scaling, and that's kind of what the solution Diamondback is bringing.
okay. So when you say innovation, you say scaling. Are we buying diamonds? Like what's the gist here, right? Because from a perspective of someone who's in DeFi or someone who's a degen,
Mhm.
we want to buy tokens, we want to sell the tokens, we want to buy a portion of a staking plot, we want
Mhm.
to earn our liquidity percentages, we want to get out. What's happening here? What's taking place that we take our hard earned stables and US dollars we've gotten from SafeMoon and all these crazies, and
Yeah.
how does it transfer into Diamondback?
And yeah, exactly, right? Because it's kind of a with us, we're all degenerates at heart, right? We want to see the 10, 100 X's. That's why we're all here, right? And that's why I'm here, talking to your community, talking to you guys about Diamondback because it's an interesting business model they have. So Diamondback is known as DBK coin, right? It's a stable price payment coin that allows holders to connect payment solutions worldwide. It has the same capabilities as the stable coins I just talked about, right? And it's a currency exchange and it's a stable store of value credit payment vehicle. It uses the blockchain technology, right? Coupled with something that is kind of our differentiator, right? It's called the Diamond Trust, right? Which is the substantiating mechanism for the value of the coin. So each token, Diamondback coin, is backed by $1 value of a diamond, right? By a hard asset. You ask, you're like, there's a ton of questions that comes with that, right? But that it goes through our trust model, right? We buy the diamonds in bulk through our agents and our direct private connections to mining companies here in the States. And the diamonds we use have to meet the so-called investment grade quantity. They have to be investment grade because there's a lot of diamonds that aren't worth anything that are mined, right? They have to go through a trust model, and the trust model is involves the integration of like several top-tiered relationship components, right? So initially, it goes through the grading service of the Gemological Institute of America, and then we put it through the Rappaport pricing model of the individual diamonds at the wholesale rates. And then they are insured by the Lloyd's of London syndicate, Willis Towers Watson, right? And then they're safeguarded by Brinks Global Services. And then the trustee of the Diamond Reserve is the Winchester Global Trust Company Limited. So really, we can buy these
Holy
diamonds in a
names.
bulk. Yeah. So we can buy these diamonds in bulk, right? And then put them through the trust model so they meet the investment grade quantities, and then we can quote unquote fractionalize them, and then we can substantiate them to the token, right? And putting them in our reserve. And a question you guys might be asking too is what happens when I switch from a stablecoin fiat into DBK coin, right? What happens if I have the DBK coin, right? And I want to get out of it and sell it for fiat. When you sell the DBK coin for fiat, the diamonds that back that coin just stay in the reserve. So really, we're taking those diamonds off the market for good. So it kind of works as a burn mechanism for
Okay.
diamonds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. What? So the token is being burnt by holding the DBK token?
No, so people are worried about the value of the diamonds, right? Diamonds have always gone up over time, right?
Sure.
Since 1960 to 2020, right? Price per carat, because it's a small group of people that hold the large amount of investment grade quantities. When we're purchasing these investment grade quantities diamonds, right? And they're put in the Diamond Reserve Trust that back the DBK token. Those diamonds that are in that trust and our reserve, taken off the diamond market for good. So for the diamond market, it works as a burn mechanism, right?
I
We're
see.
taking so it's lowering the supply, see? So the value is only going to go up and up and up. Diamonds.
So is the DBK token is meant to be stable? Yes.
Yes. So that is your stable coin, right? That is something, and the cool part about it is platform, the DApp, those interest garnering it because diamonds have always hedged against inflation and always will because we're printing trillions and trillions of dollars. On the DApp, on the Diamondback dashboard, you can see the drips you get, diamond dust, go up over time, you earn interest and it hedges against inflation, right? Just holding that stable coin because it's backed by a hard asset that has proof of reserve and proof of funds, which we don't see by any stable coins or any centralized exchanges, right?
Right.
By all its top tiered partnerships and relationships of companies that have been around for hundreds of years. So been around for decades.
Well, even crazier, I've seen so many stable coins lately, and granted, when you're in a position like I am, you're trying to do research on some of these projects that you're having
That's
on
right.
and trying to get a better understanding of how the ecosystem works.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until you find out that there are stable coins out there, and I don't want to misspeak here because I did read it from one source, but some of these stable coins actually are backed. They take on debt, right? Debt, they take on debt. Specifically, I'm pretty sure USDC has now started buying government-backed debt from the United States. That is a very scary prospect. There's a lot. If you're interested, make sure to go to look into that and Google that. See ways that can go wrong. Granted, the United States government probably isn't going to declare itself bankrupt anytime soon, um, but it definitely isn't helping some of our inflation issues. How would you say investing in something like diamonds, investing in this DBK backed stablecoin, how how much safer of a gamble is that than to take into consideration some of these other stable coins? Is it safer? Is it more risky? What are some of your thoughts on the risk tolerance level of making some sort of investment like this?
That's a great point. And the issue we have too, there's a bunch of issues with stable coins, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not like talking bad. I'm just
Don't
saying there's
fud my
ways to.
USDC, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying there's ways to improve it, right?
Of
Because you
course.
you you hold a stable coin, right? It doesn't hedge against inflation at all, right? It's gonna go up, right? In USDT, they print money out of thin air. You don't know their reserves, but there's a couple issues, right? Some of them are not compliant, right? There's one of them that is very, and that is USDC, of course, and also another one called TUSD, who we work side by side with, as well as they have the kind of the same legal representation that we as well did. And also another reason of why we're safe and more secure, and why I would probably suggest, is because we hedge against inflation, right? Diamonds have always gone up in value per carat and investment grade quantities since 1960. That's about 60 years, right? When you hold this, you can expect, 5 to 10% interest, right? Off of your diamond drips or your diamond dust, right? The interest you garner over holding, your Diamondback stable coins. And also the reason for it too is just because of the top tier relationships of the trust model, right? It just provides extra transparency, security, and safety we haven't really seen. It's a real world model. It's a, massive advisors, Patrick Graff, Aaron Etra, Grant Sperling. Grant Sperling has worked for massive firms as a legal advisor over years. Aaron Etra is on the United Kingdom, USA International Council for their foreign relations. And then you got guys like Patrick Graff, who created a socially group and has massive exits to Microsoft and companies of that nature when regarding payment platforms. So you really get a fully doxed principles and a doxed model, right? Where we see, these massive companies like FTX, USDT, and I can go down at least Celsius, where their proof of reserve and their proof of funds are just simply not there, right? There's
Yeah,
no
they don't have
transparency.
it. Yeah.
They didn't have it, right? And here, everything is transparent. It's a real business model. It's exactly how business should be.
Okay, so that sort of begs a question, and forgive me if this specific question is a little too on the nose. I do have a job to do here. It
Go
sounds
ahead.
like you said, that diamonds they've been increasing in value since 1960. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure every billionaire and their dog has invested in diamonds or gold or some other commodity that has slowly shown increases over time.
Yeah.
So the question is, why come into crypto? Like if there is this institutional money that is going into these diamonds that
Mm-hmm.
most rich people probably already participate in and are
Yes.
hedging their bets against and are making sure that their funds are safe and they're investing in something that's going to slowly appreciate, why come into crypto where the money is more volatile and people are degens and they're not necessarily thinking about long-term plays? What's the angle? What do they have to gain by making strides and getting into crypto early?
So are you asking why are we pretty much backing a stable coin via a diamond? Is that kind of what you're asking? Why we're putting it on the blockchain, or
Yeah, why
is that?
why even do that? You know, if it is a real life business model, why come to the
Yeah.
blockchain? Is it just for the exposure for more investment? Or is there something nefarious we need to know? You know, is there some sort of angle that we could be possibly getting played? I mean, I know obviously
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to admit that, right? But at the end of the day, like if I don't ask, then some people might have
Yeah.
the question.
You gotta ask those questions, right? But as a whole, you gotta realize, you gotta ask yourself, why does anything go to the blockchain? Why does anything go to crypto, right? The reason why is because blockchain and distributed ledger technology as a whole is so valuable, and it's scaled everything. So a reason, right, is this: it connects the whole world as a payment solution. Let's say you have a family member who's underbanked or unbanked, just like 2 billion of the people in the world, right? You want to send them funds, right? And you go to try to do that, wire for wire transfer, right? A bank transfer. It's going to cost exorbitant fees. It's going to take forever, right? So what we did was we took the stable price model of stable coins, right, about 4 or 5 years ago, and we backed it by diamonds that are going to hedge against inflation, right? And it also adds to the utility of it being a payment solution that connects everyone worldwide. Outmost a very scaling solution, right? And the thing about it too as well, it gives everyone an opportunity to take an advantage of an asset class that was once reserved for the few, right? Like you said, these billionaires, all these millionaires are the ones that had access to the diamonds, right? Had access to the diamond market. Now everyone does. Through the kind of the tokenizing of this asset.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's now more opportunity for more money
Mm-hmm.
to come into the industry, which is almost inherently a good thing. One, for the people that are actually running the show and making money off of it, but also it also does offer an opportunity for people like us to get into these institutions and get into where our investments have an opportunity to get into something really stable. That's it's kind of so in that sense it's sort of a win-win is what you're putting out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It gives everyone an opportunity to participate in a market was only for a few, right? And to for the it's kind of technology has definitely helped because it's made the diamond market more robust. Right? We were able because 20 years ago we weren't no one was able to do this, and now through the tokenizing of the asset, blockchain, distributed ledger technology, people like you and I can now participate in it, right?
Okay, so I have another serious question here. I want you to really consider.
Wow.
When do the diamond ring NFTs come out that we can propose to our girlfriends with? Okay, because if you can make that happen, I mean, I think everybody would be thrilled.
Listen, I'll go talk. I'll go talk to the bosses about it,
All
and we'll
right.
see if we can make it happen.
We'll get some Tony Stark arc reactor technology on a ring that can magnify, kind of like Jarvis. It'll project the diamond ring on the ring, and so but it's just an NFT locked into a hard wallet. That's the ring. Man, I've got $1 billion idea for you, bro.
Exactly, man.
Oh my
That
gosh.
yeah, you just broke into the market
Yeah, that would
right
be
there.
absolutely wild.
Yeah, you just took over the NFT market. BAYC Board Egg Drop Club, or they don't
No.
exist anymore.
No one knows who that is. So, okay, very good. Let's talk a little bit about returns because I think you said something between about 8 to 10% returns. That, in a nutshell, is not very decent. I think you would probably agree with that. Um,
That's not
why?
the play here.
What's
That's not
up?
the play here.
Of
That's not the play
course.
here, Little. That's
Okay.
not the play here.
Explain.
We're degenerates. You and I, we're the same here. We want 10x's. We want 50x's. Pocket Aces wants 100x's. Keith wants 1,000x's. In the name of Jesus, right? The thing here, the
Oh.
thing here, the thing here is due to the patent business model of buying the diamonds in bulk, right? Because when you buy anything, when you go to the store, right, it's like a um a cup of milk is $2, right? But get 5 for 7, right?
Sure.
When you
Sure.
buy anything in bulk, it comes in a discount, and especially when you buy something millions and millions and millions of dollars worth in bulk, it comes at a discount. When we go to buy the diamonds directly from our agents and our connections with the mining companies, the diamonds we get, it's not one diamond, fractionalized diamond equals 1 USD anymore. It's 95, 94 cents, right? And that margin
Mm.
combined in bulk is able to be returned to royalty program. And
Okay.
you're like, whoa, what's royalty program? So what we did was for early investors in who wanted to get into the project early and kind of get those gains, those profits we talk about. Diamondback created the royalty program. So what that is you buy 1 unit of royalty, right? You get paid out monthly off the top of gross revenue. Because once we do 10 million, 15 million, 20 million sales, we go and buy 15, 20 million dollars worth of diamonds, right? But we get more diamonds than 15 to 20 million because we're buying in bulk, right?
Right.
And then that margin is paid out to our early investors and early fundraisers that helped, who added liquidity and capital into the project before it hit the mainstream, right? And right now we're having that sale, right? And usually, and this is the part, right? I got connected to Diamondback about 1.5 years ago, right? And I wanted to see them develop more, right? Get the legalities figured out, the jurisdictions, and the compliance, because that's a lot of moving parts, right? In a big project like this. And about a month or two ago, I was like, hey guys, you do really well off chain, right? Kill it off chain. Normies, retailers love this project. They love the ecosystem, right? Number goes up. You guys should focus more on chain. Like, okay, right? So you'll be the bridge into decentralized finance. Like, okay, the minimum buy-in, off chain is 20 grand, right? Because that's 1 unit of royalty, $20,000. I was like, you guys need to, minimize that to about like $500, and they can buy, a fraction a unit of royalty. So what I have here today is they created a DApp, a decentralized application. It's directly hooked up to the company's multi-sig chain, multi-sig, and it's compatible for the Ethereum virtual machine and a Binance Smart Chain. You can add USDC, ETH, or buy with BUSD on Binance Smart Chain. And the minimum buy-in is $500. That payout looks like is, since you are now buying what we call royal tokens, part of the royalty program. And so one royal token is $1. So you buy, let's say you buy the minimum buy. You buy $500 of royal tokens, which is 500 royal tokens. You'll get paid out monthly in crypto, right? For 300 months, right? And that is based off of the volume we do. And people are going to question, like, okay, what does the payment metric look like if you do $1 billion worth of volume? Because $1 billion it's like okay for stablecoin. USDT does hundreds of billions. USDC does billions. There's billions in inflow and outflow of stablecoins consistently, right? So let's say we do $1 billion worth of Diamondback coin sales, right? Off chain and on chain, right? For you who ate $500 into it, that's 2.5x. So you would make 1,400 on that, and it scales more and more. But that's just based off of 1 billion. So let's say we do another billion, we do another billion, we do another billion, and you get paid out monthly for 300 months. I know that's a little bit hard for you guys to kind of grasp. It was hard for me to grasp, right? Because we're degenerates. Crypto hasn't been around that long. But it's also massively passive income, right? You help the project raise liquidity, capital. They launch. They have a great launch. Do billions of dollars worth of volume in a stablecoin market. Only doable, right? With this type of reach, this type of compliance, and because they can penetrate in Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all over Europe with their compliance with the banks, all the European banks, South America. It makes it very doable, and it makes the returns tangible, right? So that's the play here. It's not, you can buy the stable coins. You can buy the Diamondback coin right when it launches. But the play here for the outmost profit is Pro tokens. And guys, I'm just gonna be honest. It's not a typical DeFi play where you're gonna ape today and it's gonna be 100x by tomorrow, right? But it's gonna last over a long period of time, and it's passive, right? Every month, crypto comes into your wallet, right? It's gross sales off the top.
I would almost
Isn't
liken
that all right?
this. Yeah, I would almost liken this as like you said, it's a long game. Back
It's fun.
when back when I was a kid, the big
Mm-hmm.
the big thing, and I won't reveal exactly what state in the United States I'm currently in, but in my state, you can probably deduce a couple states from this. My state, they offered an opportunity for parents to go in and they could start making payments towards college tuition. And at the after you paid into this, I think it was called a pact program. Once they had paid into this for 18 years, the it was it was just a couple dozen dollars a month. After 18 years of paying into it, the child that you had designated for it had completely free tuition to any college in the state. Now, that didn't include private colleges. That only included public universities. But if you didn't know, a lot of public universities out there are pretty, they're pretty intense, and they get government backing, and they have great football teams, and yada yada yada, whatever. And everybody wants to go there. I almost kind of liken this like a play like that. Like you set up a separate wallet, and you get a hold of these stable coins, and you do whatever you got to do with them, and just leave it alone. And then if you think about it every 2 or 3 months from now, a year from now, go grab some more of those stable coins. Hop in, make sure that you're stacking them appropriately. That way, as time progresses, you just have this slowly accumulating diamond dust. Diamonds aren't going anywhere. The rich are going to keep the diamonds flowing. That's kind of where this is at for me. Having just a couple areas where you were able to invest some of your money. That way, if push comes to shove, one, you have something you can fall back on, but two, you've got something that's just accumulating. It's just a nice strip. Like you said, every month, crypto coming through, everything's going to be just fine. With that in mind, why exactly do projects like this spring up out of nowhere? And something else I want to know, and you can answer this however you want. What is the problem behind ethically sourced diamonds? I know that's kind of a buzzword, but ethically sourced diamonds are pretty much all I've ever read about whenever I am Googling something about diamonds. It's all about not having exploited workers, not taking advantage of people's labor when these
Yeah.
diamonds are happening and they're getting mined. What is that? Is that taken into consideration whenever these diamonds are acquired?
Yeah, of course it is, right? Because whoever we integrate and collaborate with is a reflection ourselves, right? We only want to work with top-tiered, highly reputable companies, corporations, and companies, and scale together. The thing is since we're buying the diamonds, right? And we're not the mining company per se, right? We're not mining our own diamonds, but we are getting these. I don't think I'm allowed to say where we're getting these diamonds. I think that's under a confidential agreement, but we're getting these diamonds directly from some of the largest, most reputable diamond mining companies, right? Um, and I think if they were doing anything somewhat unethically, it wouldn't be around anymore. And they have high reputable um, you know, experience, and they've been around for hundreds of years. We've been working side by side with them for some time
To
now.
be fair, though, there's a couple
Yes,
couple practices that have been around for over 100 years. You know what I'm saying? For a couple hundred years, and I think that's probably what I'm getting at, as well as looks like one of our questions came through. So, what about the whole blood diamond aspect? What type of guarantee do I have that Diamondback isn't contributing to slave labor and environmental degradation? And that's kind of where I got the inspiration for that question.
exactly. So, as people who have been in the diamond market for some time, are very familiar with the slave labor and the environmental damages that it does, right? So, we actually set up a humanitarian trust, right, within the Diamondback ecosystem. And when we take profit, right, and we do hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of sales, and you guys are getting passive money just coming into your MetaMask out of nowhere, we're actually set to the the diamond market and the mining companies get rid of that unquote slave labor and um, environmental um, grading because we understand how detrimental it is to everyone involved, right? And we want to do our best to clean it up, and that's why we only partner with the top tier people, right, in the trust model and with the mining companies.
Roger that. Okay, that's always good to know. I mean, like I said, questions like that kind of have to be asked. Let's see.
They have to be asked. You have to do due diligence. I really appreciate the questions, guys, especially you, Mr. Nice Guy. I'm looking at him right now. That sounds really funny to say, but I do. I appreciate all you guys' questions.
Yeah, well, and he said something too. He said real life commodities are coming to DeFi. Gold is an example, and I've seen several projects, Mr. Nice Guy, that are also trying to get into gold, trying to make sure that that is something that is easily tradable, something you can get in on.
Tell you guys a
Afia's,
secret.
go ahead.
I get. I tell you guys a secret.
Yeah.
Um, so someone who's been working at and tokenizing assets and fractionalizing different parts of metals, gold specifically doesn't really work, right? Because it's traded derivative, right? It's manipulated by Wall Street. It's manipulated by institutional firms, right? Because it's traded over contract, over paper. Same thing with silver. But when you talk about gold, you say like the American Eagle coin. There's just not enough of them. What happens if you get $5-10 million worth of sales? There's just not enough of them, right? And you can't put them through a trust model like this. So gold and silver inherently are not the best assets to tokenize and back to a coin. And I know that through experience. If it would have worked, it would have been done by now.
You know what I just kind of had a thought of, and this is kind of getting off topic, and I'll make sure to wrap it back around. But the way we use gift cards, right? We are just putting our U.S. dollars into, into that gift card. It's still U.S. dollars, but you take that gift card is now only usable at the location that the gift card is applicable, right? What if we had all of these mainstream corporations? Like, God, this talk about $1 billion idea. Get in touch with these mainstream corporations and tell them to make a token, right? And instead of buying gift cards, you don't buy gift cards from them anymore. No, you go and you just exchange your fiat for their tokens. I'm talking McDonald's, I'm talking Wendy's, I'm talking Subway, I'm talking, the ESPN store. It doesn't matter. They just come up with some catchy name, do a little bit of marketing for it, and instead of and then you can use their token to buy the things that they have from their stores and what have you, and to make it all seamless. You don't need credit cards anymore. Everything's on the blockchain. That would be kind of nuts, and that's just kind of where my head is going. Whenever you're talking about, because I feel like investment opportunities for millionaires are probably they're gonna come first, right? Institutions have to get into crypto before it's widely adopted. And if there's a money making aspect to it that millionaires have been in on, billionaires have been on, it's diamonds. Diamonds are forever. I think that's a catchphrase of a jewelry of a jewelry store somewhere. Diamonds are forever. But it makes logical sense that the true money making aspects of the world would come to crypto first. But like long term, that would seem like a pretty decent option, especially if somebody wanted to really market to that aspect of the community.
Did you like secretly read our secret white paper? Because Diamondback does have a gift card and voucher program
Really?
that is coming out this year. Yeah, so Diamondback Club gift cards and vouchers that issue Diamondback coins, credit that can be applied as effective credits or payments to members, merchants, vendors, and company accounts within the club's ecosystem.
Dope. Well, and it's good.
So,
It's good that they're coming out with utility for it,
yeah.
and other aspects of getting into it. Kind of rather than lowering the barriers to entry, they're just offering more gates of entry, which is always nice to see. I had one more question from Afias that I wanted to get to. He said, "Okay, so you buy a 500 minimum, and then do you have to stake, or do you hold in your wallet? Do the royalties just accumulate in your wallet, or do you have to connect somewhere else to collect? What about people using it as a way to pay for things?" It's a lot there.
So that's perfect. And that's a great question. So the thing is I think we all have PTSD from connecting our wallets to stuff.
Oh
Right?
God,
I do.
yeah.
Yeah, trust me. It was about 2 years ago around Christmas, and I got hacked for 20 grand. Right, so that was a little Christmas gift.
Oh,
Um,
Mazel tov.
um,
Merry
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
You know. But the great thing here is you don't have to stake anything. You just buy the tokens, and that's all you have to do, right? And that's the great thing about the blockchain. It's recorded on the blockchain. It goes to our on-chain data analysts, and there you go. And then you receive gross sales off the top, right, monthly once the DB coin launches.
Are
So you don't
they
have to stake anything.
are they
And then you
sending the
get
rewards in the DBK token or something else?
sending the rewards in a statement USDC or ETH.
Oh,
It'll
gotcha.
be it'll be up to the DAO. So yeah.
Ooh, can you imagine if you started collecting ETH and then ETH pumps to 10K or 20K? or even
Exactly.
higher over the course of time. That
Yeah.
Now that's a little riskier than obviously going with a stable, but can you imagine the payoff if over the course of 10 years you accumulate an ETH? I mean, and you know, yeah, it's at whatever it is right now. I don't have the price on top of my head, but imagine it
Depends.
two
Yeah.
X's. Not only have you made an investment, but then over time ETH has gone up. So that, oh God,
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the Binance Smart Chain side, you can in BUSD or BNB.
That's a house.
So
That's a down payment on a house or a couple semesters of college or whatever it looks like for you and what your plans are. You know
exactly.
that could be something real.
Hopefully that answers your question. I don't know how to say your
A
name.
Fias, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hold it in your wallet, dude. That's what you got to do. Let's
Yeah.
see. So, is this stable going to be a payment solution? Is it going to be adopted by merchants? Is there any reaching out to protocols, institutions that are looking to take this as payment?
Yes, there is. That is a part of our big plan since we have a lot of corporate team members and people who have been in centralized finance and involved with these institutional firms. Yes, they're looking at it as a payment solution, right? Because a lot of these institutional firms like BlackRock, JP Morgan, Chase, and I can go down the list. They all want, I mean, regardless of what you think, they all want exposure to crypto. All want that onboarding to this kind of wild, wild west that is currencies, right? But how do they onboard it? They go through USDC, they go through USDT, right? They don't really, USDT doesn't have that, it's mostly retail and not a lot of big institutions play into, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with Diamondback, something that's legally compliant, right? It's going through all the right obstacles and hurdles to clearance and isn't, considered a security and really it's got the thumbs up worldwide, be kind of the bridge for institutional firms to partake in the digital currency world. Transactability bridge it was what we'll act as.
Yeah, he said thanks for answering my questions though. Buy the NFT, get the product. Am I still not a he? Am I still not? Yeah. You're definitely not a he. All right. Let's see. Do we have any more questions we're to go through? I think you've pretty much answered brilliantly all of my questions. Oh well, we did sort of have that question from Jake. Maybe we'll just kind of jump on that real quick. You could just kind of drop that in.
Yeah,
We'll skip the whole Starlink thing. I think we've explained that a little bit in the
yeah.
past.
Hmm.
What is your role within DBK?
So I'm sending. Can I send links?
Yeah, you can jump in the general
Yeah,
chat or yeah,
yeah.
whatever you want. Yeah.
I just jumped that. I just sent that in
Good.
the
I'll drop it in
chat.
in the general as well. Go ahead. Oh, perfect. You got it.
Um, yeah. So, okay. So my role with Diamondback is, like I said, we worked in the same building at the Brickell Banking Center. Actually, not the Brickell Banking Center. We met at the Brickell Banking Center, but we worked in the same building and on Brickell Avenue, 1200 Brickell Avenue. They're on the 18th floor, and I was just below them working on my LLC. And I came across them about a year and a half ago. Made some close connections with their team and some of their advisors and their team members, and I had a bridge into kind of a liquidity pool, right? As you could say, a market that they really didn't have. As people who are older and institutional, they're unaware kind of how much I think liquidity is in DeFi.
Hmm.
There's a lot of liquidity here, right?
Oh yeah.
And and I told them I was like, hey, like you guys should really push Diamondback on chain. Right? They kill it off chain. They kill it off chain. You guys should push it on chain. And they we came together and they're like, hey, we'll give you the thumbs up to push this on chain. Go talk to some of your connections and your people and see if they want to participate. And we'll put together the DApp and the multi-sig for the company, so it shoots directly to the company, and we'll see what we can do together. And then I was like, yeah, but we have to, the minimum buy-in's got to be lower than 20 grand. I'm just saying, we're
Yeah.
not dealing with, billionaire boomers. Some of us are, but like not like that, right? So like all these people, want some skin in the game. Let's give them fractions of units, and they're like, game. So we went through that process, and we got the thumbs up about a month and 2 months ago, and I've been working side by side with them since, and it's been a great process, and it's been fantastic, and I kind of wanted to give this opportunity to like you, Ludo, and the people that I know, right, so they could participate in it and get the benefit. Because I'll feel remised. I would feel bad. I would feel like I contributed nothing to society. This thing went to 10 to 15 billion dollars, 20 billion, and I didn't tell anyone. I knew about it, and I was like, oh, by the way, like I was involved with this, and everyone's like, why'd you tell me about it, right?
Well,
So
that and it
this is
sounds
I'm
like you were
feeling,
just in the right place at the right time.
yeah, I was in the right place at the right time. It's just, you can say it's luck. Definitely was. And then here I am, telling you guys about it,
No
spreading the
such
good
thing
word.
as luck. There's just hard work over opportunity. Is all there is, right? I think that's
Yeah,
how they say it. One
like
more question.
preparation and plus
Yes,
opportunity,
yes,
right? Equals
yeah.
luck. Yeah.
Equals luck. Exactly right. One more question. There's a question there about your connection to truth seekers. You don't have to answer that. This is a DBK AMA as it was. So if you want to come back to that, you can. Meanwhile, this is a little bit more of a hard nosed question. Why does it seem like DBK has no marketing when they're hoping to get into $1 trillion volume?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is with Diamondback is a lot of it is behind the scene connections with the institutional firms, the high partnerships, the advisors, and things of that nature. And really, you don't want to start marketing something until it's completely ready,
Mm-hmm.
right? And with the compliance they had to go through for the integration, European banks, right? That takes a while. That's a lot of obstacles. That's a lot of legal fees. That's a lot of office work you got to do. And once you finish all of the nitty gritty work, then you start working on marketing. Really, it was finishing up the final details of the DApp, the payments platform, the merchant partnerships, and the payment solution partnerships, and kind of integrating, collaborating everything, and making sure the back end, the front end, everything is working before you start marketing a project this big, right? You want to make sure everything is working accordingly. Once it is, then you go marketing like crazy. You don't never want to market vaporware, right? You always want to market as something that's tangible and concrete, and that can be interactable with users. That's why you haven't seen marketing yet. It's They're finishing up everything that you got to get done to finally finish this thing, and it's a lot of
Well,
work.
and if diamonds are like you say, they've kind of been a sort of a, how do we say it nicely, sort of a boomer investment in the past. It would only
Yeah,
make sense that they moved
yeah,
slowly on these kinds of things, right? If they're getting into crypto, they're kind of the tortoises in the shell, and they're not trying to beat the hare. They're gonna get there when they get there. And they're just going to keep making strides. With that in mind, I think we've hit pretty much every aspect I can think of for this particular project. Is there anything right now that you would want to make sure is communicated to the audience that hasn't already been?
let me think. Like I said, guys, this is going to reiterate this is I know we're all degenerates and deacons at heart, right? This is not a type of play that you buy into and you expect to buy a Bentley right afterwards. It's just not. It's a different model, and it's a trusted model, right? It's something we haven't seen before. It could do massive, massive amounts of volume, right? And like I said, I've preached this over and over. I just wanted to give you guys exposure and hope you guys see something out there that's rather cool. And if you guys want to participate in it, that's super dope. If you guys don't, no worries, right? But as I see it, it's a train. Diamondback's a train. Either we get on it or we don't. It's gonna go without us, right? It's not up to us. It's not like, oh no, we don't raise these funds, this thing's never gonna launch. It's already ready to go, right? So either we hop on and we ride this train up to the mountain, or you don't, right? So that's just kind of where I'm at with it, and kind of want to you guys listening.
I see. Okay. Well, as always, my friend, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate the insight. I'm definitely going to have to take a look at these tables myself. Again, boys and girls, this was our first repeat guest, Mr. Remington. Hopefully, as long as he's managing to keep his hands on as many projects as he can, this may not be the last time we even see him on. Once again, pal, thank you so much for coming on. That was Diamondback Stables. I think you posted. I will just make sure everybody can see. Yeah, dbk.finance. That's their pre-sale
That's
DApp. Make sure
Yeah.
you get in on those stables, hold those stables in your wallet, put them in a separate wallet, do whatever you got to do, use them as currency as utility rolls out. Make sure you stay in touch. Is there a Discord anybody can go to or a website other than
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Let me. Oh, I just saw Keith's question. You can DM me and we can deal about that. I got you on that. No worries.
Yeah.
Let me grab the invite link for the Diamondback server. Copy. Drop it in here. Dude, I got this new mouse and it's so cool.
Love to hear it.
It's so cool. It's called I'll send you a link to it. But honestly, I think if you used it, Ludo, I think you'd be financially free. I think we all would be. I just
I'm
got
pretty
it, and like
sure.
my net worth is now like way higher than it was yesterday. It's just because it's just like the essence of it. It's like so techy. I feel like Elon Musk.
Heard that. Well, like I said, buddy, I appreciate you coming on. We'll go ahead and end the AMA there. We'll make sure that link is in the video
Well,
description as well as in the general chat. Thank you so much for coming on, boys, and we will talk to you later, okay?
sounds good. Thank you for having me.